The last post show of the preseason starts now. Street Fighter League Season 3 starts next week. I hope you guys are ready. We just had some cool matches today. I mean, we started off with Spaceboy and Sabin. Spaceboy did take it over Sabin, not for lack of trying, obviously. Also on the other side for that main event, we did have iDom versus NuckleDu. I did not see that match happening and playing out the way that it did. Lots of nail-biting moments.
It makes it so much harder to predict who's gonna do well in this upcoming season, right? Now we have like the kind of breakdown of the teams. This is where it's gonna get kind of lengthy because Steve and I always have this kind of debate on who's gonna do well. So to kind of refresh your memory, who do we have on the roster, Steve?
All right, so first off, we've gone international. However, we've selected the captains for Season 3 from the CPT leaderboard. This is all creme de la creme, the best of the best, and Street Fighter League is gonna decide what team will be facing off against Japan coming up. Now, the teams are, first and foremost, added to the roster this season, Team NASR, with the captain of Bigbird, who followed up by picking Angrybird, and the new NASR team player, Samurai, who's been on Street Fighter League for quite some time. UYU, another new team added. That's gonna be Oil King as the captain, NL on the follow-up, and Kami as their last remaining member. Then of course we have All In, made up of iDom, the Capcom Cup champion, and a returning SFL alumni. He's gonna be joined by the first time appearance from Phenom, one of the strongest Street Fighter players in the world. And of course, 801 Strider. Right after that, you have Alpha 3. That is made up of what champion of Street Fighter League, Punk. Then he chose CJ Truth, and then right at the end that makes this team pop for me, Nephew, who is Punk is called one of the strongest players in the country and thinks he's one of the most adaptable players. And then of course, Psycho Shinobi. That's gonna be Hot Dog 29. That's gonna be Infectious. That's gonna be Xian. And then of course, to close out and definitely not least, Dynamite is gonna be led by Problem X, a Evo champion, followed by NuckleDu, a Capcom Cup champion, and then Smug, the People's Champion, to round out a team. These guys are gonna be unstoppable, I feel like. So let's talk about our own personal picks.
So I'm gonna be very, very straightforward with you all. I'm looking at the team synergy more so than the individual talent. I'm considering some of the band choices that can possibly be made, and of course, how strong their captain is in terms of reading what teams are going to place their players in what order. Of course, that last tidbit is going to be very, very difficult to call. So with that in mind, we just saw the potential of NuckleDu being able to adapt to a player like iDom. That's already speaking volumes as to how much homework he's doing. On top of that, he's stacked with an Evo champion, Problem X, with the likes of Smug, who could be completely unpredictable, right? Because of his Balrog play and his G play. So off the bat, I think Dynamite is gonna be one of the most explosive teams out in the scene for Season 3. That's not to say that they might get top 2, but I will say they are definitely on my favorites list. But it's so hard to tell because then I'm thinking about NASR. You got the Birds and the Bald Eagle. It's gonna be very hard to call because Bigbird, Angrybird, they already know how to work as a team, and they have the OCV man himself, the man with the highest win rate. That's gonna be a good book eventually. Samurai is on that team. I feel like each and every one of those individuals on Team NASR are more than capable to take down any of these names in Street Fighter League. And then you have UYU, you have Oil King, consistent Capcom Cup contender with teammate NL, who's been destroying the competition with that Kami in the beginning and transitioning into a character like Akuma. That's pretty dangerous itself. And then of course, Kami. I feel like Kami is the wild card, but he's practicing that Seth. He's practicing that Seth, and that's also very, very scary. So, man, it's so hard to call. I'm only naming those three so far. Don't get me started.
This was your idea. You gotta give me. Okay, I'll tell you.
I'm still going.
Okay,
Alpha 3. You got Punk v Alpha. Going up against one of the brightest minds, or going up with the brightest minds. You have CJ Truth and the Iceman himself, who always keeps himself cool no matter the situation. Nephew, he's like a sponge, but he could be a frozen sponge at that. If you throw it at somebody and hits him in the head, it's gonna hurt.
Actually, that's a brick. If you freeze a sponge, it turns into a brick, man.
There you go.
That's assault, man.
That's how good Nephew is. All right. Okay. So again, I'm breaking down all these teams, and it's just so hard to predict. But if I were to really pick one, again, Psycho Shinobi is also a sick team.
I like how he's just repeating everything that
No, I'm changing it up. Hot Dog again. Okay, like so. Y'all don't understand. Hot Dog. No, I like it. I want to talk about the teams.
Hey, Fly,
I want to go.
Shut up over there, Fly.
If you don't have an opinion on what teams are going to make it, you don't say anything. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. Where was I? Hot Dog again, in contention to be one of the best Bison players in the world. Infectious, absolutely machine. He's not a machine though. He's a man.
He's a man.
He's a man. One of my biggest problems that I see in the game is that, you know, it's hard to play just one character, but it's also very hard to ban this team. It's like, who do you pick? Do you pick Hot Dog, Infectious, or Xian? Because they're all very competent character specialists, right? And then, of course, all right, calm down, Steve. I see in his eyes, like, I want to see this pick. I'm breaking it down as to what I'm thinking about.
All right, no, I understand.
Give me the patience, okay?
I got you. You know, look, no pressure, bruh.
Okay, and then iDom, of course, being current reigning Capcom Cup champion with both Laura and Poison, pretty much unbannable, part of Team All In. Phenom is going to be a wild card for me as well. So Phenom just winning the Capcom Pro Tour Online Europe region, already solidified into Capcom Cup this year. We didn't get to see him play in the exhibition. And then 801 Strider, another wild card, right? That kind of throws off a lot of the variables in how Street Fighter League could function in terms of the ban pick. So I'm kind of curious to see what happens. So iDom unbannable. Phenom is still kind of questionable. He does have a Necalli and a Karen and a Guile, sure, but then 801 Strider, you ban his G, then what happens, right?
Yep.
You want to get as many wins as possible. So with that entire breakdown, copy paste that, take notes on it. This is my predictions. I do like Dynamite in top 2. I do like NASR in top 2 as well.
Dynamite and NASR in top 2. Okay, all right, that's pretty good. I'm not gonna go the long route, but I will say this.
You did your piece already.
Right, like I already did that. But what we should do, we're gonna use this as a placeholder, but when we come back, we're gonna do this again. Week 1, season 3.
You see what he did there? Now he's avoiding it.
No, I'm not avoiding
He's doing
it.
this. See, we planned this out before we went live.
Please let me finish. Can I finish? All right, I was gonna say that we still have to hold our top 2 though. We still have to hold the top 2. We can still kind of like make brackets throughout, you know, as the season progresses, but I would still like to commit. But here we go. My idea for who would make top 2 of this team, man, this is really, really tough. All right, okay. I'm going to go with
a quick commercial break as he's still thinking about it. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. I'm totally kidding.
Okay. I'm looking at a team like Psycho Shinobi to be one of, I think, a sleeper team. Because I think people are looking at Hot Dog's one character and they're like, oh yeah, man, this shouldn't be any problem. I think people are also kind of I don't think people are second guessing Infectious because we haven't even started the season yet, but I think Infectious is a lot more powerful than, you know, people may believe or have seen, and Xian kind of speaks for himself. Coming from Street Fighter 4 to Street Fighter 5, he hasn't had like the crazy success, right? But you're crazy to think that he's still not one of the best players on this roster at this point. He has one of the best records in just fighting games in general, as well as he's more than well established. So I'm going right now. I'm gonna stick with Psycho Shinobi. Psycho Shinobi is one, right? But I will say, right? I want to see it. But I also want to stand true on the fact that NASR might be another team to take out a large chunk of the competition here, because Bigbird and Angrybird, the fact that they're going to have that automatic team cohesion is going to tell me a lot, as well as they have Samurai, who's been in this position before. They're looking like a super strong team. Like,
so is everybody else, and that's the craziest thing, right? You could take our predictions with a grain of salt because of
you better take it with a grain of salt.
How unpredictable this season is actually going to be, and if we're wrong, hey, we're wrong. It's by a small margin, I would say. It really is.
Yo, top 2 chat. Top 2, post it right now. We catalog this stuff now. Let me know in the chat your top 2 teams at the end of it all. Stick to your guns. Don't be shy. We're all friends here. The only people that might take it personally is Infectious, because Vicious has been hating on them this entire
I'm a big fan of Infectious
season. It's actually ridiculous.
This guy's wild.
Off camera, you guys should hear it. It's actually said. I had to stop him.
I want his autograph. What are you talking about? I've been trying to get this guy's autograph. I shook his hand at Capcom Cup, and I was a fan. I was like, holy jeez, this guy's sick. I told him that at Capcom Cup, he could call me out on it. I remember, I was like, I'm a big fan. He's like, oh, thank you, man. That was the first time I've heard him speak ever. The first time I've heard him speak ever. Yes.
Anyways,
yes.
I digress. It's all fun here. It won't be fun for these people actually, participating in Street Fighter League.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's definitely going to be
fun.
What
am
I talking about? That's definitely going to be fun. But we're going to week 1. That's the next stop here for Street Fighter League. I really hope you guys enjoyed the preseason. This has been one of the most fun times I've had. Street Fighter League is definitely becoming one of my favorite productions to watch involving Street Fighter, and I know it's going to be for you guys too. Vicious, you got any parting words for the people before we get out of here?
We appreciate you guys tuning in all 9 weeks, and we want you to do so again with the rest of Street Fighter League Season 3. If you're a fan of Street Fighter, you're definitely not going to want to miss this.
Well, look, as we said before, and I'm sure we're going to say it one more time, it only gets better, and it begins next week. Street Fighter League Season 3 begins, and you do not want to miss it. We will see you guys next week, and thank you for watching.